Bom dia, gente. This is Frederick from Portugal. A lot of people that think about moving to Portugal don't really want to change job. They're self-employed or maybe thinking about getting self-employed, starting their own business. But one of the biggest questions, especially in Portugal, it's a high tax country, is how much taxes do you pay. It can be a game changer. So in this video I will introduce a video that we made with a tax consultant here in Porto. They're called L2E. We also put the link below if you want to get in touch with them, and we will ask them the main questions that you need to answer if you consider moving to Portugal and starting working as a self-employed or not. Okay, I'm here as promised with Zita Santos from L2B. We'll put the contacts of L2B below if you have more questions. The main question is, if you're a stranger, if you can start an activity in Portugal, or do you have to be Portuguese, or you even have to live in Portugal?
No, in fact, you can be a foreigner and be living in anywhere else in the world, and you can also apply for a self-employment in Portugal.
So you don't even have to live in Portugal as a foreigner to start a self-employment activity in Portugal.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So the second question is, and that's also a simple one, what kind of documents do you need? So as a foreigner, you can start an activity, but are there any special requirements, difficult forms you have to fill out?
No, it's very easy. You only need a passport, a proof of address, and you have to have the NIF. That's a tax identification number here in Portugal.
Okay. So also if you are not a resident in Portugal, you need to bring proof. That's to start the activity. Of course, if you have a special requirement, if you would like to be a cook, there can be other requirements in terms of health, or if you work with minors and so on. But just to start the activity, it's three things.
Yes, that's it.
Third question, in terms of how can you open the activity, we prepared 8 steps, or L2B prepared 8 steps in a paper. They also made a summary of most of the things as a handout, so get in contact with them to receive it or answer the question more in detail. First step of a total of 8 is to get the NIF.
That's right. To do anything related to taxes here in Portugal, you need to have the NIF. So if you have to go to the tax office yourself, or a legal representative to get this number.
Yeah, you can get it online. You don't become a taxpayer if you leave a foreign address, so it's not an issue. It's more like a central registration number. So don't worry. It's a simple step, but the most crucial and basic step. Next one is to choose your activity.
Yes, once you have the NIF, you can go online and open your activity. You have to choose the activity. There are different codes for different types of activities. You choose yours, and you choose the IRS regime you want. We have two. We have the simplified regime for people who have low income, and you have the organized accounting regime that is for people with bigger incomes and other specific detailed expenses and other things that you can profit more from this regime.
Okay, so to 3 steps, choose the kind of activities. So if you, for example, would like to work in real estate, you just have to register. You can also go up to 20 activities or areas of activities. If you have a restaurant and would like to do real estate the same, I don't know if that's really possible, but for example, Pearls itself has also many, because we also offer consulting and this kind of things. But each kind of activity, you should inform yourself. You will find it. We also put the link. And then you can see what kind of activity you would like to do and which number it refers to. You need to register the activities at the finances, and then also choose the way you would like to be taxed. And in this case, makes sense really to talk to a specialist in terms of pros and cons of each regime.
Check the need for licensing. If you have a specific activity, you may need a special license. These licenses mainly can be obtained in the city hall for each city.
For example, if you do real
activity.
estate, you can register a real estate company, but you need a AMI number, AMI, which is a special licensing, but that's something, of course, you should check up front. If it's just a simple step to require, it's not necessary to register the company itself, but of course then to start your business legally, not just financially, but legally in terms of the requirement from the industry. So probably something you should check up front, but in terms of progress, something you can do after registering it at the finance department.
Social security.
She says it very softly. It's like a big ghost here. It's segurança social.
You are obliged to make contributions for social security, and the contributions depend on the regime you chose before. If you have low income, the contributions are also mandatory, but they are small contributions. If you have, for example, 1 month, 2 months that you don't have any amount of income, you only have to pay 20 euros. That's the minimum. So you have to apply and open your activity in Social Security also after you have opened it in the tax office. So that's a mandatory thing to do.
Okay, and the Social Security, in this step, you will probably also get registered to get the NIS number?
Yes, you have also to apply for having the NIS number. That will give you access to healthcare and other things here in Portugal.
The great thing, you also need to know how to bill.
Yes, you can do it in the portal of the tax office. They have their own system, and here in Portugal you issue the recibos verdes, the green receipts. That's how you bill your clients.
So a lot of steps. Sounds kind of complicated. I think it's straightforward once you've done it. So don't let yourself, or don't be afraid. I think it's a very simple process. At least that part is, not just this part, but opening a company is very straightforward in Portugal. And out of one practice, how long does it take to open a company?
It's very quick. If you do it online, it can be opened immediately. If you do it in the tax office, it can take up to 2 days maximum. So it's a very easy process.
Perfect. So just a couple of days and you'll be done opening your self-employment in Portugal. So what are the pros and cons, the benefits? Are there any benefits starting a self-employment in Portugal? I think there's a main one, a big one, I think.
Yes. Related to the social security contributions, if you open a self-employment activity here in Portugal, you have 1 year of exemption. So you have contributions free for 1 whole year.
Which basically allows you to start the activity, and I think that's good because you receive a little bit of flexibility and don't have to worry so much of that part in the beginning. Yeah. So, and appreciate the social security itself. So you can go to the doctor. You don't have to wait also for 1 year. Okay. Which I think is great. Imagine you come, you don't contribute and participate. So not such a bad thing.
Yes, you still have the same benefits as other Portuguese people. You have potential for higher earnings, and you have a tax regime that is very easy and simple to work with. you have, like we said before, access to health care here in Portugal, like any other citizen. And you have less bureaucracy. It's a very simple process.
Okay. In terms of cons or disadvantages?
If you open a self-employment, it's always a little uncertain and unstable. Don't know really what the income is going to be. You can predict it, but you don't really know. You still have tax and contributions responsibilities, still have that responsibility that you have to attend. And you don't have labor benefits as other workers. You don't have vacations, you don't have other subsidies that we have here in Portugal. You may have, depending on your income, have to hire or not an accountant, but it's something that you should consider. And
But if you hire an accountant, you've made it. So
yes,
so
that's good news if you
exactly.
if you need an accountant. So that's mainly it.
Yeah, the first point maybe is a little bit simple, but I think also quite significant, because a lot of people want to start working on their own behalf for the first time when they go to Portugal. I think that's something you have to consider, because if you move, there are a lot of things going on: new culture, new language, new everything. And working as a self-employed is something you also have to learn. And if you financially depend on it, so if you would like to start something, you should definitely, maybe even if you don't pay a lot of social security in the first 12 months, to have the financial background to sustain at least a year, better 2 years, without depending on your self-employment. If you come and right away you have to live from this, and you have done it before, it can be very tough. In terms of pension, this is also covered in Social Security in Portugal.
Yes.
So when you don't have to make a different. In some countries, you pay for healthcare and you pay for social for pensions. In Portugal, it's one amount that you pay, and based on your income, then also in your portfolio you can make a simulation how much your rent will be. So if you pay, you also have the right to get a pension in Portugal, but the minimum time you have to pay Social Security to get a pension in Portugal is?
I think 15 years.
It is 15 years. So it's nothing. In other countries, sometimes it's right away, but you have to stay at least 15 years, then also be eligible for a pension in Portugal. The rate, I think it's quite good compared to other countries. For example, Germany, horrible relation, what you earn and what you get. But in Portugal, I think it's fair. But again, you have to do it for 15 years. Last question. Sometimes people ask, hey, I already have an activity. I work as a consultant in my home country, or they do something else. Can I transfer it financially? Is it possible?
Yes, but it's not a simple process. What the best advice we can give is to cancel in your country of origin and open a new one here in Portugal.
Yeah. Or you can build if it depends on the company structure, build a subsidiary. Yeah. In Portugal, or open a different activity, but closing something and moving it to another country, even within Europe, can be you receive a lot of financial penalties, and you have to see. Usually, people close their activity or keep it frozen and then open something new. Technically, it's possible, as far as understood, but yes, not advisable. I hope this answered some questions. Again, if they would like to get in contact with you guys, what's the best way? Send an email?
Yes, you can send an email here to L2B, Link to Business, and we'll help you with everything you need in this process.
Okay. Or contact them by telephone. Best way is always to show up, have a meeting, and discuss things in detail. If you have a question, or if you're really thinking about opening a company here in Portugal, being self-employed, so please get in contact with them, and they will help you starting a new professional life in Portugal. I hope you liked the video and the interview. If you have more questions, or even more questions came up because of the answers that we gave in this video, please get in contact with us. We put the contact form below, so you can contact L2B directly, and they're happy to ask or answer your questions. They speak English, so that's not a problem. If you like the video, please leave us a thumb up, and don't forget, stop surviving, start living. See you in Portugal.